Hey, welcome to Cow Free Kicks. On this channel I review leather-free sneakers only, and this video is all about the Under Armour HOVR Machina 3 Breeze. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel and you've not seen one of my videos before, I always look into 5 different categories when I review a pair of sneakers, and they are looks, comfort, weight, breathability and price. And then at the end of the video I will give these Under Armour HOVR Machina Breeze 3s an overall rating out of 5 stars. If you do like what you see as you're going along, please do not forget to show a little bit of extra support by clicking that thumbs up like button below, and if you've not done so already, please do take the time to subscribe to the channel. So let's start this review as we do with every single other review by first checking out how these look on feet. This is a 2023 version of the Under Armour HOVR Machina 3 Breeze. The previous version is still available via the Under Armour app and website and is currently half price. So if you're not too fussed about the differences that we're going to discuss throughout this section of the video between this version and the previous version, it might be an idea to check them out rather than this new 2023 version. Now this version is currently available in 2 different colorways. I think the colorways for the 2023 version are definitely better than the previous colorways released. Now talking about the differences and about the styling of this sneaker, you can't really escape them first talking about the fact that the upper is predominantly, especially on this 2023 version, made out of this translucent mesh material. Now it almost feels like reptilian skin on the upper without it being quite as cold as touching a snake. It's got that kind of soft but also not so soft feel to it, and it does feel a little bit cold and a little bit wet to the touch, but it's obviously not wet. It's just a really odd material that I've never felt on a sneaker before. It's got a little bit of a scratchy element to it as well, so it's not soft like a fly knit. It's just a really odd material. Now on this version it continues from the toe all the way around to the back towards the heel cup. On the previous version it cuts off around the back of the midfoot and the rear is just made up of a foam material. On this sneaker you do have massive padded foam detailing around the heel, and that kind of extends over the top and pokes out of this translucent mesh material. On the previous version it wasn't really like that. It was kind of just straight down with the padding more featuring on the inside of the shoe rather than kind of bowling out onto the outside of the sneaker as well. The other differences for this sneaker are the fact that with this tongue that you get with this Under Armour HOVR 3 Machina Breeze 3, on the 2023 version you're getting a much more well perforated tongue all the way down from the top of the tongue right down to the bottom of the laces. The lace detailing is exactly the same with the TPU detailing around the lace holes, but the tongue for these has got many more perforated holes. The previous version was only perforated about halfway up, and then you had a TPU covering, so kind of hindered the breeze element of it. So this sneaker, what they've done is try to create a more breezy look and breezy feel to them by creating more perforated areas of the shoe than there were on the previous version. Now all of this sits on top of this HOVR midsole unit, which is incredibly chunky towards the heel and also is quite chunky towards the ball of your feet, but then tapers off quite narrow towards the toe. On the outsole of the sneaker, you've got this grip here that hasn't changed from the previous version, and it's the grip that's predominantly around the toe and around the heel. The middle of the shoe here forms a way into the midsole of the sneaker. Overall, I don't think the sneaker looks too bad. I think what they've done with the heel cup is quite nice, adding this TPU plastic detailing. There's a little bit of 3M detailing on the heel of the sneaker as well, and also the symbol here for the branding for Under Armour is also 3M material. Overall, I think they look quite good on feet. The one complaint I've got with this shoe is this translucent material. Not only does it feel a little bit weird, but you can see when I'm holding it in hand, it kind of bunches up and crunches up. Now I've put the paper that comes with these sneakers inside the shoe just to show you that it does actually crumple up quite a lot. Even with your feet in the shoe, you could see in the video, it doesn't form perfectly around your feet and has a lot of dimples in it. It just didn't look that great for me on feet. I don't mind it overall looks wise, but I just think this material is a bit too odd for me. Next, I want to move on to their comfort, where I want to put this HOVR midsole to the test on my back doorstep. First time I've ever tried on a pair of these Under Armours with this HOVR midsole unit, and they did not disappoint. You can see from the step test that they offered really nice responsive bounce back and give from the toe to the midfoot and all the way to the heel. Now the stack height on these does rise towards the heel of the sneaker, and you do get more bouncy responsive feel in the heel of the shoe and the midfoot. It does taper off to be a little bit firmer towards the toe, but I don't mind that, to be honest. Overall, under feet, these have got a really nice ride to them. Now on top of your feet, you've got incredibly well cushioned heel unit here, and that runs around to the bottom of the ankle, and also the tongue offers a really nice amount of padding as well. The one thing I did have an issue with slightly was the fact that this translucent synthetic material did feel a bit odd on feet because it doesn't create a perfect fit around your feet. There are undulations and bobbles that kind of sit on your feet in a slightly different way than I'd expect from a normal shoe, and I didn't quite enjoy that. Now fit wise, these are an absolute true fit lengthwise for me. I've got perfect length UK size 10 feet and I had no issues lengthwise with this shoe, but width wise I've got slightly wider than average feet, and I did feel that there wasn't that much give in this translucent mesh material like you would get with a Flyknit. So if you do have above average and quite wide feet, I definitely would recommend going half a size up just to give you that extra room around the toes in the toe box area. Now I want to move on to their weight, where I want to pop them on the scales. So being marketed as a breezy lightweight shoe, coming in at 353 grams isn't too bad a weight for these Under Armour HOVR Machina 3 Breezes. I consider anything under the 350 gram mark to be lightweight, anything under the 300 gram mark is freakishly lightweight, and anything above 400 grams is to be considered a heavier weight sneaker. So coming in at 353 isn't too bad, but I do appreciate that some people out there are going to consider them a bit heavy if they're going to try and use them as a performance running or fitness shoe, because there are definitely other models out there that will offer you a lighter weight and won't have as much padding around the heel unit, and also possibly as heavy a midsole unit as this HOVR appears to be. Now moving on to their breathability, where I want to pump this upper full of smoke, see how breathable it is. An incredibly breathable pair of sneakers. They definitely live up to their name as being breezy because the smoke escaped incredibly quickly and in incredibly large amounts. Now, whilst I've got some issues with this translucent mesh upper with the way that it kind of looks and the way that it feels, the incredibly small perforations that make up this material have made it an incredibly breathable shoe, especially when you consider the fact that it covers most of the upper of this sneaker. The amount of breathability you're going to get from these is almost unrivaled in any other shoes just because of the speed of release. There was absolutely no hesitation from that smoke when it came out of this shoe, and sometimes with other sneakers you can see areas where it may struggle to come out, but with this perforated tongue as well, where the smoke did escape from too, you're getting an incredibly breathable pair of shoes. Now moving on to their price. Now these come in at £140. Now like I said, if you want the previous version of this shoe, you can pick them up currently for around £70. The differences are quite subtle with this, and I don't think there's any change with this upper translucent material, so breathability might not be too affected, and you've got the same midsole unit. So £140 for me I do think is a little bit expensive when you have got the previous version available out there for the £70 mark, and in general, just as a standalone price of £140, I would expect to see these probably come in at the £125, £130 mark, so I do think they are overpriced. And that moves me on to my overall score for these sneakers, and I'm going to give them a very solid 4 stars. And that's mainly because I think they're a good weight, I think they're incredibly breathable, I think they're very nice and comfortable. Looks wise, I didn't have too many issues with them other than the way that this translucent mesh material kind of makes them look, and the kind of indents and bobbles that it creates. But the main issue I've got with these really is their price, and obviously you can get the cheaper versions at the moment for a much better price via the app and website. If you like what you've seen today, please do not forget to give the video a thumbs up before you leave. You can also drop any comments below. Also follow me on Instagram if you like, and hopefully I'll see you again for another one soon. Bye.